When I first stepped into the industry, I expected engineering to feel like an extension of university. Killing problems, killing answers, neat solutions. Instead, I walked into a world where nothing was tidy. And every drawing, every decision, every assumption carried a story no textbook had ever mentioned. It didn't take long to realize something important. Real engineering isn't about memorizing formulas. It's about understanding the why behind every choice. In this video, I'm going to break down the parts of technical engineering nobody really explains, the habits, the fundamentals, and the mindset shifts that actually help you grow in the real world. 1. Datasheets and manuals are quiet gold. One habit that will genuinely change you as an engineer, and I mean quietly transform you, is learning how to really read datasheets and manuals. Not skimming them when something goes wrong, no scrolling through them in a panic, but actually understanding them. Because here's the truth. Those documents are where the real engineering lives. Don't be afraid of the numbers. At first, the tables, curves, and parameters look like a wall of information. That's normal. Start with the equipment you actually use. Breakers, relays, cables, transformers, inverters, whatever shows up in your day-to-day work. Start there. Get the real manual, not the brochures. Go straight to the manufacturer's website and download the full technical documents. That's where the real details hide. Give it focused time. Block out an hour and go through it slowly. Ratings, limits, curves, settings, coordination notes, application examples, and everything. Build a solid understanding of the features. Learn what each parameter actually means in practice. Breaking capacity, setting range, derating, coordination notes, communication options, all the things that shape real-world decisions. This isn't extra work. This is knowledge building. This is how you become the engineer people trust. The more fluent you become with datasheets and manuals, the more confident and precise your decisions, your reviews, and your decision will be. 2. Core concepts matter more than you think. There's a moment in every electrical engineer's journey when you realize something important. Your real strength isn't in the software you use or the tools you've mastered. It's in the concepts that sit underneath everything. And if some of those fundamentals have faded since university, it's genuinely worth taking the time to refresh them. Not for an exam, not for a test, but for your own clarity when you're making real-world decisions. Three-phase theory, the backbone behind almost every power system calculation, positive, negative, and zero-sequence systems, the language of fault analysis and protection, harmonics and THD, essential for understanding power quality and equipment behavior, transformer behavior and design principles, saturation, impedance, vector groups, inverse current, and so on, protection and selectivity fundamentals, the logic behind relay choices, curves, and setting, AC low voltage circuit behavior, breakers, earthing, voltage path, and short circuit calculation, the basic for equipment ratings and protection settings. These aren't academic leftovers. They are the foundation behind almost every design decision, every protection setting, every installation detail. And even if you don't have your old notes anymore, everything is available online. The goal isn't to memorize everything, it's to keep your fundamentals sharp enough that you understand why a design choice makes sense. 3. A niche isn't a limitation, it's a multiplier. Early in my career, I tried to keep every single door open. Power system design, high voltage, medium voltage, low voltage, overhead lines, substation design, protection, automation, SCADA, and even networking. I was everywhere and nowhere at the same time, and it took me a while to realize something important. When everything is an option, nothing becomes a strength. The moment you choose one area and start going deeper, everything shifts. You stop feeling scattered, you stop guessing, you start building real momentum. A niche doesn't box you in, it gives you direction. It gives people a clear picture of what you bring to the table. And in a field as wide and chaotic as electrical engineering, that kind of clarity is rare, which is exactly why it's powerful. 4. If your project involves system studies, treat them as your foundation. One thing I wish I had understood earlier is how system studies, are to every engineering decision. Load flow study, short circuit study and short circuit calculation, protection coordination, voltage fluctuation, earthing analysis, and dynamic stability study. These aren't just documents sitting in the folder. They're backbone of the entire design. Drawings, equipment rating, cable size, relay setting, even the installation methods. All of it traces back to the studies. When you take the time to read them carefully and understand the reasoning behind each result, you start to see the design with a different level of clarity. A good engineer doesn't just know what was chosen, they understand why it was chosen. And that awareness makes your decisions sharper, your reviews stronger, and your conversations with senior engineers far more meaningful. 5. Your drawings and emails are part of your engineering identity. People don't see how hard you work. They only see how clearly you explain things. A tidy drawing, a direct email, a clean calculation sheet. These aren't about perfection. They are about respect for the people who will use your work. When your communication is clear, people trust your judgment. When it's messy, they assume your thinking is messy too. It's not fair, but it's true, and it never changed. 6. Curiosity keeps you useful longer than any tool. Software changes, standards update, companies reorganize, but the habit of asking, why is it done this way, lasts your whole career. Curiosity is what helps you understand decisions instead of just repeating them. It's what tells you that when the tools change. It's what turns experience into insight. A curious engineer stays relevant. A passive one slowly becomes outdated. And finally, electrical engineering is not just about circuits, it's about reputation. Every drawing, every calculation, every conversation is a small investment in your reputation. You don't need to know everything, you just need to show that you are learning, thinking clearly, and contributing with integrity. That's how you grow, that's how people learn to rely on you. And one day, you'll look back and realize that the journey wasn't just about becoming an engineer, it was about becoming someone others trust. I'm a master's level electrical engineer based in Dublin with over 10 years of experience in medium voltage system design and substation protection. And this is Exo Power Lab, where I break down electrical engineering, product comparisons, and practical insights. Thanks for watching, and I invite you to check out the other videos on the channel for more.